All right, what it is, people, man. We're back, and we got a chance to clean up the bike today. It looks like it's about to rain, so therefore, we're gonna clean up the bike. But I wanted to go over this before I decide to take it off. But anyways, we just came back from the RTE, Ride to Eat with Reef and K-Solo, and I thought it was a very good trip, you know what I mean? I mostly like the trip because you know, it got a lot of diverse people out there. You know, you didn't normally have those cliques where everybody is not as talkative to each other. They're just looking at you and staring at you and really don't say anything as you're passing by. I felt like just about everybody was welcoming. Even if you look awkwardly at someone, they had an opportunity where they feel as though they wanted to speak out to you, and I just thought that was a great thing, man. It just seemed like everybody was welcoming, you know what I mean? And I mean everybody. I'm not just saying certain people, it was everybody. If you even looked their direction, they felt as though they needed to speak to you or say at least, hey, what's up? How you doing? How you feeling today? Whatever the case may be. You had a lot of other people that, you know, they told their story.
Two-lane road, and I pulled off where like the semis would pull off on the side of the road to rest. And I pulled off there and I got to sleep, and I got woke up by a state trooper in Arizona. He woke me up, and to this day I never saw his face because he had all his damn flashlights and shit on me. So I'm just like, oh, wow, why? I said, am I okay? Am I okay sleeping here? He says, oh yeah. He says, it's not a problem. He says, but I do have a problem that could become your problem. So now I'm kind of getting more awake. I'm like, what I said, you just told me it's not a problem. What do you mean there's a problem? He said, just hear me out. He says, not even a half a mile up the road, I had a full-grown mountain lion cross in front of me, and it's on your side of the road. He said, my advice is for you to pack up and just maybe go 10, 20 miles down the road and find another place.
How long had you been asleep at that point?
Already a couple hours.
Okay.
So I'm just laying there. I never did get up. I just laying there in my cot and on my elbow and looking at it, all blinded. And I says, I'm not worried about it. I'll be fine. He says, all right. He said, I'll tell you what. He says, I got to come back this way when my shift ends. And he said, I'll pull in and check on you. He said, I won't wake you up this time, but I'm going to pull in and check on you. I said, officer, I appreciate it. Be safe out there. He says, you be safe. And he says, remain vigilant. Remain vigilant. I want to go back to sleep. That's what went through my mind. I'm now fully aware. I'm like, what's the vigilant? I'm going to sleep. So I sleep in military sleeping gear, so you zip all up like a cocoon.
Yeah.
So I zip myself all back up, and I get my little travel pill, and I get my arm, everything I just right. Fuck. That fucking mountain lion grabbed me by my head. And I was set up right along the edge of the woods, or the brush.
Yeah.
That fucking mountain lion.
Pull you right back in the woods.
Right, no one's gonna find me. Just go to sleep. Shut up and go to sleep.
Uh,
Couple seconds go by. Fuck, it grabbed me by my leg. And I'm telling myself, literally, I'll never forget it. I'm telling myself, just go back to sleep.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of minutes go by, I'm thinking I can fall asleep. And I said, fuck it, come in, grab me by my shoulder, my arm. That fucker's gonna drag me in the woods, and nobody's ever they're gonna find my bike. What happened to Snowden? He's gone.
Oh my God.
I got the fuck up, got the fuck
Yeah,
out
I
of
bet
there.
you did. And they also gave you advice, and I felt that was very beneficial because you don't get a lot of advice when you go to some of these other events. You get more so of what is the best and how they can't live without it. And at this event, it was taken to the point where everybody seemed like they cared, and I thought it was awesome, man. You got a chance to view the city from their perspective, where they had the route of the places that they wanted us to go as a group. Then after that, they gave you enough time to pretty much just chill and ride around just like you normally would as if you visited a city. And they didn't hold you to really any time constraints. It was more so, we got these 3 rides. If you want to go on these 3 rides, you could do what you want to. They made them optional. You didn't have to go. But I just went to all of them because it was kind of like a tour of the city. It was top notch, man. I really enjoyed it. And I would say more so better than some of the other events that I've gone to. And, you know, I definitely take that in consideration as to next year. And definitely next year, we're going to the next one. I believe last time that they were on a tube, they said something about it would be in the Pensacola area. So I would definitely be there. And that's much closer to the house. I won't have to do the 1,000 miles. So it is what it is. But I wanted to kind of review some of the things that we experienced, the people that we met, and this, that, and the other. And it was, like I said, man, it was an awesome experience, especially to not go to one location all the time. You know, I know they've been to this location maybe twice, I want to say, but every other year they move it to a different state, and I like that because you get a chance to explore and be in some of those states that you haven't been in or gone to, or just be in the presence of people from that area. So I got a little list here I want to show you. Let me show you. I got a little list here of the things that we did while we were there. It was me and my wife. That's what we did. So obviously this is what I put on there to prepare for the ride. I put that on there so hopefully I don't get any chips, and I put that on the side mainly because I have my chain hanging down, and I don't want it to rub on my paint. I know it's already done it, but at the end of the day, I don't want it to get worse. So that's what I put it on there. And I also put that little message on there because some people are like, why do you put the tape on there? There you go. Hopefully if they're standing there and I'm not around, they can read it and they can do what they want to do. I don't know if I'll ever get the clear plastic that goes on the side, but that's what I do for my bike. You know, it helps a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way. It is area 2. I take advice of all the people that's around me, and I take it in the heat. And what I did was I have a bag magnet, which was awesome. I'll tell you what I did with that here in a minute. But I had a bag that I put over the top of this, and for some reason when I'm traveling, man, when I'm getting on and off the bike, I have scratches along this area. So I figured this might help with it. Also, with the bag that I got for this trip, it was awesome, man. I've been listening to a lot of these long distance guys. You probably know Kodak, you probably know K Solo, you probably know Sharif, Mr. David Bell, all the people. Pretty much I met all of them except Kodak at this event. Anyways, that bag was awesome. I initially started out with like my snacks and treats and stuff in here, but then I got the brilliant idea. I'm like, you know what? I could put my drone and all my stuff in here for my charging. And that's what I did. I put all that in there, but then it started raining and I couldn't put it out because it probably will resist the water, but it won't waterproof the item. So once it started raining, but one thing like I do like about the Road Glide, like since I have that hot screen on it, if it's not a bad downpour, I don't get any water in this area. But if it's a downpour, I'll get water in this area. But it wasn't raining hard enough for me to feel as though my pouch was getting wet. So it was awesome, man. I could just grab the drone. I didn't have to go all the way in the touring pack and do all that. So it was an awesome addition. I put that on my oil filter. Pretty cool. I think it is. You can do what you want to. But it's just those little pieces that make people think about your bike. All that good stuff. As always, she performed very well. One thing that I like, but I did not like, I think I have these pointed up too high. I need these pointing straight because when we were in the woods, it seemed like it was more higher than it was straight, and I prefer those to be straight. So that'll be the third time that I adjusted them. The first time I thought they were maybe pointed down too much. Now they're pointed up too much, and I need to bring them down. So I might just run this so that they're level straight across. So, you know, this antenna seems like a bad thing, and it doesn't look sporty, but this is what I'll tell you. Some people don't like to ride with music while they're driving. I like to ride with music. If I'm going in rush hour traffic and the traffic's backed up, I'm turning on the radio. What I realized too, when you get out in some of these mountainous areas, your cell phone does not work. However, local radio does, and you can find something that's pretty much entertain you, or better yet, let you glide through the mountains. And that's what I find. That's why I find that very helpful. What I want to do is get another antenna and put it on this side so it looks uniform, but it won't be working. But at the end of the day, it'll just look, I like that. That has a little cool profile to it. But yeah, that's what we did. And she performed just as good, man. I have no complaints. What happened? On the way home, this is what I do have a complaint about. This bag right here. For some reason, my latch came off and it fell down. I have like these little pockets in here. It fell down in the pocket and I had thought somebody stole my freaking latch. And I apologize. Nobody stole it. When I got home, I had my little bungee cord on it to hold the bag on there till I got home, and I definitely made sure that this one was tight, which is loosening up right now. Anywho, when I looked down in the bag when I got home, after about 1,000 miles, come to find out it was in that little pocket. I screwed it back in, and I apologize for saying that into the air. Did not say it, but you know, it is what it is. What else? Other than that, oh, my new 12-inch handlebars from Factory 47. This is what I look for. I understand people like the Triple OG and everybody like the handlebar Lee, but what I want my hands to stay inside that fairing area. With the Triple OG and the handlebar Lee, your hands tend to come out here, and I don't want my hands all the way out here. And plus, I feel like I have a little more control with these, so that's why I went with this brand. I'm not necessarily worried about that gangster lean and having the Triple OGs and a handlebar Lee. I wanted something that kept my hands inside, so when it rains, I kind of still have that shield of the fairing running through this side, and it kind of makes the wind go like that, and I don't get as much water on my hands, or better yet, much cold. But it is what it is. And speaking of cold, I added this too. I added my grips right here. After talking to some of them long distance guys, man, I'm telling you, the grips helped out. For some reason, I want to say it was close to 50 something degrees, but I want to say it was low 60s. And best believe when you're in those mountains, it gets cold. And they definitely came through, because for some reason I thought I lost my leather gloves that I brought with me, and I had to have my thin ones. So when I turn these on, they're good. And I'll tell you this too, you know, they have a setting of 1, 2 through 6. About 3 is real hot. I don't know what 4, 5, and 6 feels like, but I tell you what, number 3 was good enough for me, and that's exactly what I was rocking. Come on this side. Just in case you get heated grips, especially for the bikes up until what, 23 and 23 and a half maybe, that have the cord that runs all the way through and down to the bottom. If you have that cord, obviously you got to take the cap off. I don't know what the 23s and plus look like. It is what it is. But you got to take this cap off and plug it into the inside of the grip. Remember this, and this is what I got from Law-Abiding Bikers, Ryan Erlach. What he said was he put some electric tape in between the plug and the outside of this to kind of squish it in, because I think he's a policeman, and he said a lot of times when they were in Washington State that a lot of the right sides went bad because the plug kept coming out. So get you a piece of electric tape and make it fairly thick and put it in between this outer piece and the actual plug, and it'll stay. So that's what I did well in advance, so I don't have to do that anymore. All right, here we go. These are some of the things that we did while we was there. The Harley Davidson 50 States One Ride from Mississippi, which was beautiful. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Man, when we entered, it said to take a picture of the sign. We took a picture of the wrong sign. And then once we got onto the actual spot to start it, that's when we saw the actual sign. Once we got in, the sign was awesome. It's beautiful. It seems like they really take care of that parkway. Now, when we started, I'll show you a couple pictures of that. When we started, it just seemed like lazy hills all throughout. And it was just mesmerizing. It just felt like you were floating through a field, and it just was wide open. It was nice. It kind of reminded me of having like a picnic or something during that time. So that was the 51. It said that it was like 300 and some odd miles on the Harley Davidson site, but we didn't do 300 and some odd miles. It only required you to do probably like, shoot, I would say like, it only required you to do like 20 miles, probably less than that. And I want to say less than that. So that's what it was. Next up, we went through Arkansas, and we didn't make it to Arkansas until Thursday. Well, we made it to Arkansas, let's say Wednesday, but we did not make it onto the 50 for 1 until Thursday. So we drove all day Wednesday, did an iron, but I got what, 1,013 miles. I couldn't make it all the way. I got tired, so I had to turn back and then go back and get it. At that point, we had probably like 1,009, and then by the time we got back, made a U-turn and went back to the hotel, it was probably like 1,013, and that's where we stopped at. All right, good morning, people. Here we are in the great state of Arkansas, and we just bed down last night, man, maybe about around 12 o'clock Arkansas time. And I come out here this morning, this is what she looked like. Looked like it was killing season on the way up here. Look at all them bugs. But anyways, this is what we gonna do this morning. I already sprayed her down. We're gonna clean her up. It's about roughly 9 o'clock. And we on our way, man. So that's what we gotta do. Clean up a little bit, get some of them bugs off before we actually give it a wash. And then we'll go that route. But like I said, man, let's look at how them bugs hit my tip right here. That's crazy. On these bags, it really wasn't that bad. I didn't get too much splatter on that. But we'll see in a minute. We'll give it a little wash when we get to our final destination. Everything going pretty smooth. I tell you what, last night was a tiring night, man. I tried to do the 1,000 miles and try to get all the way there, but I got what, 1,012. So hopefully that's good enough to give me my iron butt challenge. But that's what we're fixing to do. We're gonna clean her up, and then we're gonna get to moving. All right, time to get out of here. Check-in wasn't until what, 3 o'clock. So I figured if we go to the 50 Nation one ride for Arkansas, maybe about around that time, it'll be time to check in. Come to find out, we went to we went to that one. That one was like 80 miles, but they only required you to do maybe like 15 miles for that one before you take your picture. So that's what we did. And then there was a 15 rods for 2025 for Harley Davidson, and you can get a coin for that as well. And we were going to go to the OARC Cafe. Come to find out, we went to the Ozark. No, I take that back. We went to we were supposed to go to the OARC General Store. Spelling is fundamental. And I put in Ozark Cafe, thinking that was it. I don't know if I looked at my directions or whatever, but I just hit the button and then I was kind of ready to go. So, hit the button and go. So we went there taking all these pictures. All right, FYI, man, we're here in the Ozark Cafe, which is something that's a part of the, 15 for 2025. And this is what it looks like on the inside. This is the middle. And then on the other side, on the other side, we got a gift shop, which is in here. The gift shop in here with the shirts and all that. This is Jasper, Arkansas. So that's that. And this is the gift shop. And it also have like an ice cream parlor inside of it. And it looks like they used to have a theater in this thing. Pretty cool. And then we go back to the main entry. We got all this stuff as well too, which is pretty cool. And I got the salad bar, so that's pretty cool. I'll get y'all some shots on the outside later. Let's go see who's on the wall. Maybe locals, I guess. Yeah, probably locals or the family or something like that. All right, I'll get back to you. Thinking we were at the right space, and then come to find out, what is it? Mr. Extra and Views on Twos had done the same ride, and they took a picture at the OARC General Store. And I was thinking, man, that picture looks totally different from mine. And then I went back in the book, come to find out I had gone to the wrong spot. Ain't that something? So by the time we left, let's say we left, I think it's called Pine Bluff, Arkansas, which was where our hotel was before we could check in Conway. It was probably like 8 o'clock when we left there, and we only were like an hour away from Conway. So by the time we got finished with going to the Pig Trail, which was the one for Arkansas, and then we went to the Ozark Cafe, which was the wrong place. We didn't get there till like 7 o'clock. So we went out there, sat around, did what we do. So that was Thursday. Friday, there were 3 rides. You had an opportunity to go to a historical African American museum, look at pictures. There was an Emmett Till exhibit there. Oh my gosh, it was awesome.
The Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley Let the World See exhibit. It was created by the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley Interpretive Center and the Indianapolis Children's Museum. So it was created with the idea in mind that kids 10 and up can enter this gallery, learn about Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley's story without it being too overwhelming, as if it were made for like an adult audience, because it's important for kids to know history in events like this, even though they're difficult to talk about and hear about. So
I think everybody that watched the exhibit, you had a little twinkle in your eye by the time you got finished. After that, the next step was we were going to lunch. So we went to lunch down on Main Street, downtown. After that, you had an option to go to, I think it's called Dreamland. It's more so like a historical building that was like back in the day when it was a vivacious area for African Americans in that neighborhood. Nowadays, you got the interstate that now has come through there. A lot of the buildings have been torn down. You know, it's that typical African American story for some of these prominent areas that were hustle and bustle back in the day, and now all of a sudden it seems like it's going up in ruins and people are restoring the building. We got a debut of that one, as well as like a tour from the owner's son. They have like a flag company down in the base floor, but up above they restored the area where.
So this Dreamland was built by the Knights of Tabor in 1918. The Knights of Tabor were a similar, did y'all come from Mosaic
Yes.
today? They're a similar organization to Mosaic Templars. They're these kind of black fraternities that came up during Reconstruction, post-Civil War, that were really integral in organizing recently free black folks into communities. So this was what they called Blissville. This is where most people came in from rural areas and kind of gathered up right around here and started building their tent and shack communities that quickly became brick and mortar because of this ability to organize time, funds, and all that stuff through these organizations. So by 1918, they had an international presence, and they had built this as their international headquarters. Mosaic Templars. So these are kind of bookends. You can see their building right there. The 9th Street Commercial District for a black community for Janesville, early 20th century. They lost the building in the 30s during the Great Depression. Most of the people couldn't pay the dues anymore. A lot of these organizations downsized pretty significantly. And we see the building is unified again under the ownership of a United Service Organization during World War II. So about 41 or 42, they bought it for all the young black men being trained at Camp Robinson, which is the camp across the river in North Little Rock. Washington Avenue was the segregated black district over there. 9th Street was the one over here in Little Rock. 9th Street had a much more entertainment side to it than Washington Avenue, so that's why they come all the way over the river on the nights off over here, and which is an incredible economic opportunity, but also meant that this street, this 4-block district would swell with 18-year-old dudes every weekend, and they were kind of disruptive. So they gave them this whole building, this big R&R space, a full hall on the first floor, there were lounges and music rooms, relaxation rooms, and restrooms, a library on the second floor, some smaller stages on the second floor as well, and then this big stage of everything up here. And it's the USO's renovation that took it to this. So that we're kind of looking at what the USO is here. Before the USO, no balconies, and the stage was comprised of paint. It was just a stage and big open. You can kind of tell the balconies are built over windows. The stage cuts those windows in half. You know, so those things existed already. You can actually see the old tar line where they elevated the roof.
Right after the Dreamland building, we got an opportunity to go to the Capitol, which is in Little Rock. All this took place in Little Rock, and we went to go see the 9 kids that were first African American kids that were implemented into integration back in the Little Rock area. And you went to the Capitol. They had a monument for the 9, and it was somewhat symbolic of the area that you were in, and you know, some of the prices that we had as African Americans to continue to be equal to everyone else. So I enjoyed that. It was a great day. That was Friday. When we got back, it was probably roughly 4 o'clock. From 6 to 8, they had barbecue. Barbecue consisted of hamburger, hot dogs, chicken wings, salad, chips, and cookies. I thought it was very simple. And not only was it simple, it just gave you an opportunity to sit down, eat your stuff right there by while they were barbecuing, and just talk to people. And that's primarily what a lot of people did. Just like everybody reiterates, there was no music going on. If the people did have music, it was probably like their little portable 3x3, and they were playing it amongst themselves. Also, too, you had nobody out there gunning the engine, this, that, and the other. And I'll tell you this: if you went to the event and you thought you were putting down miles, there's people there that's putting down major miles, man. What we do locally here, like 1,000 miles, or we go to this clubhouse, that didn't compare to some of those people. And I'll tell you this, it was just as many Harleys as any other bikes there. I mean, Indian, Victory, Yamahas, Kawasaki's, adventure bikes, let's say Harley Davidson adventure bike, BMW adventure bike. I mean, it was all types of bikes and all different shades of people. That's what I really enjoy. It's all different shades of people, and people were sharing all kind of stuff. I mean, sharing. Like, hey, do you want a cigar? Hey, do you want some of my whiskey? Hey, do you want, or as K Solo said, libations? And it was a cool event, man. I really enjoyed it. And just to bring my wife along, this was her first real long ride. I know she got some back problems, but at the end of the day, she thugged it out and she came along, and I really did enjoy that. So that's what we did Friday. Saturday, we woke up. And that's the part of ride to eat. We went to eat barbecue. Man, listen, that barbecue was delicious. I myself, they gave you a choice. What I ordered was, you got a choice of 2 meats. So I got the turkey, which was sliced turkey. It wasn't like a drum or something like that, but it was turkey, and I got ribs. The turkey was delicious. It was hella juicy. The ribs just fell off the bone, and it was like a sweet rub on it. Man, it was delicious. I got collard greens. What else I got? Macaroni, like always. That's at any establishment. They had what else they had? I think my wife got sweet potato, and what else? I can't remember. I want to say baked beans, but I'm not certain about that. But it was awesome. That was delicious. I was talking to Mr. Kitchens, Carl Kitchens, about a crew suit or some type of riding suit that you wouldn't necessarily have to put on a rain suit. That's what I'm trying to transition to. So then we ate. After that, we took some pictures around the city, which was awesome, man. I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I don't. But I forgot that President Clinton is from that area, and he has a memorial or a library that's dedicated to him. Just so happened we popped up on that place. It was awesome, man. It looked like a freaking spaceship. And it was awesome. So when we got back Saturday, we know we want to leave early Sunday, because I wanted to get back and try to be to work on Monday, but it didn't pan out that way. So we wanted to bed down early on Saturday, so we stayed out. We went and ate. They had barbecue that evening as well too, from 6 to 8. But I think everybody was kind of in the mode of getting back, so everybody was chilling. They was outside with their chairs and this, that, and the other. They calmed down. And you can, like I say, man, you could tell when you go to all these other events, you got a day party, you got a night party, you got this party. It wasn't as hustle and bustle, go and come. It was more so like, do this ride, chill, go explore on your own, or better yet, just stay here and relax. And that's what I got out of the whole thing. So we shut down by around 8 o'clock. And I just can't say enough about it, man. It was good. It was a good experience. Very good experience. And we woke up Saturday about 3 o'clock, and we gunned it all the way home. I did an iron butt going home. What it was, 1,023 miles. I had to shut it down in Ocala, roughly. I got tired, boy. I had to go in. We went McDonald's. I had to go in McDonald's, get me like a 10 minute nap, and then I got back on it and ran it home. And I was not waking up the next day to go to work. So that was the ride in a nutshell. And you know, that's what we did, man. It was an enjoyable weekend. Let me explain this. Here we go. On the tag. So I already explained those three. Like I said, man, it'll be so many memories, and these are some of the things that I remember. On the ride, you had like when we first started to take off and we were going to the African American Museum, we had like 2 falls that day. People, you know, like I say, your slow maneuvers on your bike will get you in trouble if you don't have, or you're not aware of your bike. And that's what we got, man. A lot of people doing slow maneuvers, and next thing you know, the bike collapsed. I think I got those 2 on video. We're gonna see. When we came in Wednesday night, we got there around 11. So about around 9 and 10, we kind of hit Arkansas. We smelled all kind of stuff in the country. It was like, seemed like stuff was burning. It felt as though it was chemicals outside. It was like a bunch of, and some of them smelled like it was chemicals to the point like it will harm you, man. I don't know what's going on in those fields. If you have any idea what goes on in those fields, leave it in the comments. Do what you got to do. Like I said, new friends. I met a bunch of people that I consider new friends, especially on Facebook, man. I reached out to them on Facebook, got some friend requests, all that good stuff. So that's what it is. This ride to me was all about information. I learned about rain suits. I learned about my Denali lights. I learned about some other people's riding. I learned about places that I could have gone, places that there is to go in the future. And that was just, it was top notch, man. I have no complaints. This one right here, K-Solo. I don't know if you remember, but I went on a trip and did that summer ride to those 10 states. And K-Solo gave me an interview. What I want y'all to know, man, the man is top notch. No matter what day it was, I always had an opportunity to talk to him. And I don't mean like I just went up to him and talked to him. There were days that I did do that. However, as we were clowning around and getting around with other people, he would just come up randomly and start a conversation with you, you know, share his ideas about what he want to see on the YouTube page that we make for it. And I just felt like there wasn't any need for that, because it seemed like every day he was very approachable. He came out and talked about his situation and things that he's looking forward to and various things, man. And I just think, man, I can't say enough about him. Stand up guy. I know we have like a little relationship because we did the podcast. And it's just something about him, man. I like the guy, man. He's a very heartfelt person, and you know, I commend him for putting on this RTE, him and Reef. Reef is a character, man. I just find it so funny that, you know, when I was on the podcast and I was saying something about itinerary, and he was like, there is no itinerary. But at the same time, when we got there was an itinerary that was sent out. And then as soon as I saw him, I say, there was an itinerary sent out. This is what he said. Well, I didn't put it out. You see, he put it out. I'm like, whatever, man. Can't win with you. So those 2 guys, I'm glad they put it on. It gives you opportunity to go somewhere every year. And it's awesome to me. I already explained this, the diverse atmosphere. Like I said, you had shades of all color there, and everybody was willing to talk to everybody. Got some good stories. Diversity, like I said, goes with the friendliness and all that stuff. This word right here, hospitable. I don't know if I spelled it correctly, but that's what I was thinking at the time. When we got to Arkansas, I felt like I was in Georgia, like back in the day when it was so much hospitality. You know, it was when we stayed at the Comfort Inn the first night when we ended the Iron Butt. And even before that, it was like when we walked into restaurants, people were like, how you doing? You know, what's going on today? I see you on that motorcycle. Be safe out there. It was a lot of that. And I just commend the people for just being hospitable. I can't say it enough. In Arkansas, when you talk about hospitality and people being hospitable, that's a word that stands out. So that's what I wanted them to say, and I say thank you for that as well too, because it's not all the time when you're out on your motorcycle you get that same feeling from everyone else. The event was great, man. I cannot say enough. And I just leave y'all with some of the views that we had on the way there, and I also leave you with some of the stuff that we saw as we were there. So I'm gonna kind of like pack this one with everything, but I can't say enough about it. It was enjoyable time, and I felt like my wife enjoyed it as well too, and I definitely enjoyed it. It was awesome, and everything didn't feel like a rush. It actually felt like we were on a vacation, and we enjoyed each other. So with that said, man, we'll see you on the next one. One day you'll see things could be better when you go to a different type of get together, especially the RTE.